They say a man's land is his peace, his pride, his last line of defense when the world goes sideways. And I used to believe that too until a blue gate almost cost me everything. Now, I didn't start this war. I was just trying to repaint an old ranch gate that had seen too many winters. But somehow, a little splash of blue triggered a battle that tore through our quiet community like a summer wildfire. And let me tell you, when the smoke cleared, nobody looked at Harmony Ridge the same way again. So let me take you back before the tractors, before the lawsuits, before the gate went up in flames, before I knew what I was really up against. My name's Warren Cole. I live on a 7-acre patch just outside of Prairie Bend, Oklahoma. Been here most my life. I fix things for a living, mostly engines, fences, and broken stuff folks leave too long. My wife passed a couple years back, cancer. Real cruel kind. Since then, it's just been me, my hound Jet, and the land. I kept busy. Painted the barn, cleaned the pond, tried to keep my heart from rusting over. One morning I woke up, looked at that chipped old gate, and figured, why not give it some life? I had this can of sky blue paint I'd been saving. Same color as Linda's favorite shawl, the one she wore when we watched the storms roll in. I painted it soft, even, every brushstroke like a whisper to her memory. I didn't know that blue would bring hell to my doorstep. 2 days later, I found a letter in my mailbox. No name, no greeting. Just a typed warning about aesthetic violations under Harmony Ridge HOA's guidelines. Said my gate didn't match their approved color palette. Wanted me to repaint it forest green, black, or natural wood stain. Gave me 7 days or I'd face daily fines. Now here's the thing, I ain't part of Harmony Ridge. My land borders their development, sure, but it was never inside their lines. My deed goes back to 1952. Their community sprouted up 20 years later, a parade of beige homes and VY fences. Pretty enough, I guess, if you like living with one eye on your neighbor's lawn length. So, I crumpled the letter, tossed it in the burn barrel, and figured that'd be the end of it. But Bonnie Merriweather had other plans. Next thing I know, she's knocking on my door. Red lipstick, clipboard, the whole queen of the cul-de-sac, VYB. Didn't even wait for me to say hi. Mr. Cole, she barked, this is official HOA business. Your gate is a disruption. I crossed my arms. Ma'am, I don't answer to your HOA. I'm outside your boundary. She smiled like a dentist about to drill. We've updated our charter. Page 5, Section 12. Your property now falls under extended visual jurisdiction. Visual what? I asked. If the community can see it, it must conform. I looked behind her past the fields, over the fence, at the line of houses half a mile off. Ain't nobody seeing my gate unless they're trespassing. She scribbled something on her pad. You'll be fined $150 a day starting tomorrow. Then she turned and left like she'd won. I won't lie. That rattled me. I stood on my porch for an hour just watching the wind move through the grass, trying to calm the storm building in my chest. That gate was mine. Linda's memory was mine. And no red-lipped tyrant in heels was going to take it. So I repainted it again brighter this time. Blue with white trim. I even carved her initials into the top slat. And I posted a sign that said, Private Property Not HOA. Didn't take long. That weekend, they brought in drones. I kid you not, buzzing around like wasps. Then some guy with a fake badge showed up measuring my fence. Said he was a compliance field agent. You're trespassing, I told him. He said, I'm here to enforce standards. I said, this ain't Soviet Russia. Get off my land. He backed off, but the next morning I found a neon sticker slapped across the gate. Code violation. Removal pending. That was it. I drove down to the HOA office. Of course it was closed. A sign on the window read, Tuesdays only. I waited 4 days, showed up early, thermos in hand. Bonnie arrived at 10:01, saw me, and rolled her eyes. Oh, you again. You can't just find people for levying, Bonnie. She clicked her pen. Then paint the gate. I stared her down. You picked the wrong man. She smirked. And you picked the wrong color. That night, My buddy Mason dropped by. Old army pal. Quiet guy. Builds things. Fixes things. Wears his beard like armor. We sat on the porch, drank coffee, and I vented. He said one thing before leave whying. That gate ain't hurting nobody but her ego. Didn't think much of it. Until 2 mornings later. Jet barked like mad. I came out to see a massive red tractor rolling down the gravel road, engine growling like it was mad at the world. And I watched it frozen as it rammed straight through the HOA building like it was made of paper. Glass, wood, metal gone. And the man behind the wheel? Mason. He climbed down slow, wiped his brow, and said, "Thought they needed a bigger violation." He was arrested, of course. Came quietly. But his words echoed through town. That same day, a zoning officer showed up at my door. Said the HOA had no legal authority over my land. Their expansion paperwork? Never finalized. Every fine? Voided. But Bonnie didn't care. 2 days later, she had a trench dug across my entrance with a sign that said Future Site of Harmony Ridge Welcome Arch. She didn't even ask. That night, I called Trav YSMY lawyer, who used to be a rodeo clown. No joke. Still wore snakeskin boots under his slacks. He took one look at the fake permits and said, "Time to hit, and where it hurts." We sent cease and desist letters. Filed a land ownership complaint. I posted a VY Deo online, just me and the gate. Said I wasn't backing down. In VY Ted others to join. Next morning, the whole damn community showed up. Folks I hadn't seen in years. Veterans, moms, teens, retirees. They brought lawn chairs, muffins, posters that said, "Let Warren paint." Even Jet got a bandana. Bonnie arrived with contractors and 2 private security guards. Tried to tear down the gate. But the crowd linked arms. Wouldn't budge. Then Mason, fresh out on bail, rolled up on his tractor and rammed through the arch they were building. The investors arrived minutes later. Suits, ties, cameras. They were promised a retail expansion. But Trav YS showed them the deeds. My land. My rights. Bonnie snapped. Called me a backward hillbilly. Spit on my boots. I didn't flinch. "You don't scare us anymore," I said. A week later, my gate was burned down in the night. But we rebuilt it. Stronger. Bluer. We named it Mason's Gate. Then came the final battle. Bonnie sued me for defamation and property damage. Tried to silence me in court. But Mason testified. Admitted to everything. Emily Mason's niece played camera footage showing an HOA staffer burning the gate. The judge threw the case out. Launched an investigation into Harmony Ridge HOA. They panicked. Called an emergency vote. And that night, in the same community hall where Bonnie once ruled, the board voted to dissolve the HOA. Bonnie left without a word. Peace returned. Until a safe was found under that trench. County records, gold coins, and deeds pro-VYing the land was historically protected. That safe saved us. The ranch was declared a heritage site. Bonnie vanished. Rumor is she moved to Florida. Now, every Saturday, folks come by the barn we turned into a history hall. They walk through the field, take photos by the blue gate. There's a plaque under Jet's tree that says, "Defender of the Ranch." Sometimes, I sit there at sunset, remembering Linda, thinking about how close I came to losing it all over a color. But truth is, it was never about paint. It was about standing up. So if you ever feel small, like your voice don't matter, like your gate ain't worth fighting for, remember this. Sometimes, a blue gate is the last thing standing between peace and the people trying to bulldoze it. And me? I'm still here. And the gate's still blue. What about you? What would Saw You Saw have done? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear from folks who faced power like that and said saw no more. Saw. Let's talk about what community really means. And hey, don't forget to share this story. Some fights deserve to be remembered.